Good afternoon and welcome to 90 Minutes Live. It's the penultimate Saturday of the season in Southern League Division 1 Central, and it's still all to be decided. This afternoon, two teams who are still within a chance of a place in the playoffs will look to book their place in the postseason as Ware meet AFC Dunstable. Ware in third place this morning, AFC Dunstable in fifth. They're first against fourth in the Form League. Ware need a point to assure themselves of their third consecutive appearance in the playoff semi-finals. All up for grabs then. Good crowd gathering here at Wadsham Park, and we'll have full live commentary as always here on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. From myself, Peter Hill, and sitting to my right, well, the Waldorf to my Statler, or the Wise to my Morecambe, is Simon Alamandi.
Yeah, good afternoon, Pete. Good afternoon, everyone. And as you say, a very meaningful game here this afternoon, and crowd building up nicely. Good to see so many people here, supporting their teams, whether it be Ware or AFC Dunstable. And obviously, I'm sure everyone listening can understand that we're hoping for 3 points for the home side today.
Well, certainly our 35th game of the season for us here on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. Top of the table looks like this. Biggleswade Town top, played 34. Well, all these teams have played 34. So Biggleswade Town 66, Bedford 63, Ware 59, Waltham Abbey 58, AFC Dunstable 58, and Welwyn Garden City 53. One of those is going to win the championship. Four of them are going to go forward to the playoff semi-finals, and one is going to be disappointed. The fixtures that matter this afternoon: Biggleswade Town are at North Lee, Bedford are away at Leighton Town, Waltham Abbey have the weekend off, so they'll just have to sit there and watch. And AFC Dunstable and Ware meeting here with Welwyn Garden City entertaining Aylesbury United. So that's the way it looks at the top of the table. As far as the teams are concerned, Paul Wolsey welcomes back David Soter, Jack Grosvenor and Mitch Hahn to his starting lineup. They all missed a 0-0 at Aylesbury United last Saturday that you might have heard here with us on 90 Minutes Live. So Ware will start with Fred Burbage in goal, Steph Giorgio at right back, David Soter at left back, Jack Grosvenor and Echo Coker, the two central defenders. Alex Warman will play just in front of that back four, and then in advance of him, Mitch Hahn and Jack Dreyer, and a front three with John Clements through the middle, Joe Dearman on the left and Theo Afori on the right. On the subs bench, strong looking subs bench for the home side: Richard Ennin, Kieran Bishop, George Ironton, Freddie Moncur and Ben Siggers. AFC Dunstable haven't had a game since the 6th of April, which makes a bit of a mockery with all the fixture congestion that has been had. That was a 3-3 draw against Tame, and since then their joint managers Joe Oxley and James Townsend make 4 changes from that side. So they'll start with Seb Stacey in goal, former Ware player Yoav Sade wears 2, Kwado Bugai Kai, Ben Wayman, Patrick Stadzowski, Max Rosner, Rocco Tamplin, Callum Nicholson the skipper, Arnold Matshazi, Louis Walsh and Kyle Brooks. The cheers for the teams just coming out on the pitch. On the subs bench for the visitors, Joshua Amangamvi, the goalkeeper, Joshua Ramsey, Callum Martin, Dan Ikanoa and Dan Tago. The referee this afternoon is Craig Barnett, who comes from Basildon in Essex, and his assistants are Alora Hardstuff and Stephen Marr. So we're just about to get set here, and one thing you can know between these two teams, Simon, we've seen AFC Dunstable a couple of times this season. They've got an average age of 19 years and 9 months, Ware's average age nearly 25. Once someone famous said you can't win anything with kids. Not been the case this season.
I think someone did once say that. Yeah, I mean, I think they've done really well this season. Obviously, a completely new team, new board and management team, and I mean, they've surpassed themselves really. I think, a lot of people, I don't think would have expected them to be performing as well as they've done. But I mean, I think, as you say, it just goes to prove, it doesn't matter how old you are, it just matters how good you are.
Well, and they certainly have proved good. They've had an excellent run in to the season. They've never won here, though. They were defeated earlier on in the season in the FA Cup 2-1 back in August. The FA Cup that few people have been talking about this week. We were putting our two penneth in during the half-time sequence. But this afternoon also makes Mark Paul Halsey's 180th competitive game in charge of Ware since he took over on the 25th of August 2018. And he's proving, I know he's a big Arsenal fan, and he's proving the Arsene Wenger of this division because he gets them in the playoffs and in the top five.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think he's done fantastic. And his record here, just goes to show, what he's brought to the team, what he's brought to the side. And I think the thing is, you can see how far the club's progressed, since he took over as well. As you say, constantly in that top five. The last couple of seasons, in the playoff final as well. And he's still got that passion for the game, hasn't he? Definitely.
Well, history beckons for this Ware side because they've won their last 8 home games, and we have to go back to 1966-67 when they won 10 on the trot. That was a run that started against Edmonton on the 26th of November 1966, went through till the end of the season in Athenia League Division 2. That year they finished second. This year they are third. They've only lost 1 of their last 11, but AFC have been in good form as well. They've won 9 times away from home this season. So it's going to be an interesting one for a big crowd, as we expected here. We'll keep you in touch with what's going on the other games in the division as well. Championship could be won this afternoon. Playoff places could be booked. All sorts could happen. AFC Dunstable are in change strip, all in red, and I'm really glad to say we've got nice white numbers this week, unlike Aylesbury United last week, which was a real jumble. So away we go. They're kicking from right to left, our commentary position, as we like in the stand here at Watson Park. One from the back, almost on the halfway line, wearing normal home strip, blue and white striped shirts and blue shorts. And I guess the one that we noted it earlier in the season when they came here with a slightly different team in the FA Cup, but they're not the tallest of sides, AFC Dunstable.
No, they're not, are they? But it doesn't seem to have hindered them throughout the season. And obviously, having a little bit of height in the team does help on certain occasions. But they seem to have done fairly well without it.
Steph Giorgio is going to take a throw for Ware on this near side. He had a bit of a torrid time last week against Aylesbury United, which is unusual, as the ball ricochets around and lands at the feet of Ben Wayman. His tempted ball comes off of Alex Warman. A little bit of aerial tennis lands with Theo Afori, puts it towards the figure of John Clement, but Max Rosner comes away with the ball, and the ball pushed to the edge of the area where Fred Burbage has to come out pretty quickly to deny Kyle Brooks, who was coming in on that far side. Theo Afori's been brought down here by the number 10, Louis Walsh, who experienced campaigner. He made appearances for Southend in the Football League, 16 of them, and was probably better known and last seen by us at Bedford Town. Jack Grosvenor, forward for Clements, gets a push in the back from the teenage centre-half Patrick Stastewski, who we understand is about to be released by Cambridge United. He has been on loan, 18-year-old. Ware got a free kick. Alex Warman's going to take it midway inside the OD's half over on that left-hand side. Echo Goga and Jack Grosvenor have come up from the back. Chips it towards Jack Grosvenor. Gets their header there. Jack Dreyer will keep it in the area on the far side and then push it wide to Alex Warman. Alex got a chance to tee up the cross perhaps. Gives it back to Joe Dearman. Joe Dearman does get it across. Everybody misses it or breaks a Mitch Hard on the edge of the area. Thought about the shot and then lays it back to Steph Giorgio. Chips it into the area looking for Grosvenor again. There's a linesman's flag up on this near side as the young goalkeeper Seb Stacey dives away to his right hand side and pushes it away. But decent bit of early pressure. I think the one thing we said about not being the tallest of sides, Coker and Grosvenor, could cause real trouble for Ware at set pieces.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something that I'm sure they're aware of it, and definitely something that they're going to need to keep an eye on.
So coming forward with Stasowski. Plays the ball out on that far side to Yoav Sade, who was a little bit unlucky here. He came in the COVID season on loan from Oxford United and never really got a chance. Then went at Hartford, didn't play many games either, but seems to have found a home at Dunstable as the ball on this near side. Looks for Kyle Brooks, goes over the head of Steph Giorgio, but there was a linesman's flag up to signify he was offside, and it'll be a free kick to Ware. Their own record, well, second of none this season. It's been a fortress at Watson Park. Only 3 teams have won here. Biggleswade Town won here 1-0. Northleigh won very early 3-1, and maybe the strange one was Aylesbury United's 3-2, but to be fair, on that occasion they did score a goal 4 minutes into added time at the end of the game. Apart from that, 14 wins and 3 draws for Ware. It's made it a very difficult place for opposing teams to come to. Here's Sade on the halfway line for Dunstable. The ball pushed forward by Louis Walsh, but in the end goes out of play on that far side. David Sota's going to take the throw. He's been so consistent this season, but having said that, Ben Siggers was excellent last week against Aylesbury.
Yeah, I think Ben had a fantastic game last week. He really did, and obviously he is unlucky to be dropped to the bench today, but it's I can see why Paul's brought David Sata back in. I mean, obviously, as we said last week, David was having a fitness test before the game, and obviously wasn't deemed to be fit enough to last the 90 minutes. So Ben came in, and as you say, absolutely fantastic performance from him.
Well, he's on the bench, a very strong bench, a sign why this team have done so well in the past couple of months. No Lewis Rose, he's having a well-earned holiday away with his family, but if you are listening, Skipper, it was good to see you back last week. He was, of course, our man of the match, and I'm sure somehow we'll be keeping tabs on what's going on here. As Ware win a throw on that far side, first chance for Mitch Hahn to hurl one into the box, and Jack Rovner and Echo Coker again are coming up from the back. So Mitch, who also missed that game against Aylesbury last week, will take the throw in. Grosvenor's on the edge of the 6-yard box. High one forward, he gets the flick on. Theo Ofori can't really gather it, but Echo Coker will head it back to Mitch Hahn down by the byline on that far side. Echo Coker plays the ball forward looking for the 1-2, but it all comes to nothing. And there'll be a goal kick to AFC Dunstable. Hartford, Leighton, Welwyn Garden City, Biggleswade, Kidlington, Kempston, Waltham Abbey, Bedford and Stockfold are all grounds where AFC Dunstable have won. Perhaps the most notable amongst those, the 3-0 win at Bedford, which really was a young side coming of age. Near side in possession with Kai, his ball down the line, looking for the run of Matt Shazi, but he can't collect it. And Ware will have a throw-in right down by the corner flag on this near side. As the sun comes out, it's belying the temperature. The gloves and the big coats are on. Even saw a few mugs of Bovril about before the game. It's an afternoon that doesn't really feel like April. As Stezkowski picks it up inside the centre circle, then comes forward, plays it to Sade on that far side. He drifts inside Joe Dearman, then drifts outside Joe Dearman, then loses the ball. Rocco Tamplin will get it back for AFC Dunstable. Finds Ben Wayman, 88 appearances for Hartford Town. And long ball forward by Echo Coker to the young goalkeeper. Another 17-year-old goalkeeper. Seem to be a few in this division. Seb Stacey's on loan from Engay Dons. His ball on that far side brings in the industrious Callum Nicholson, who finds Rosner to Staszewski. Staszewski's long ball looking for Brooks, but he's overcooked it, and he will go out for a throw-in. And we're looking to secure our home playoff semi-final, something they haven't had in the past couple of years. AFC Dunstable, of course, looking to secure a place in the playoffs, and you can't help but think that this could be a dress rehearsal for a playoff semi-final or even the final.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what we were saying between ourselves before the game. It certainly does have that potential, and I think it's the teams that are there now are pretty much we feel are going to be the teams in the playoffs. Just seems to have affected Welling Garden City with the backlog of games that they've had in the last couple of weeks, and they just seem to have run out of legs a little bit, don't they?
Yeah, shame for Mark Weatherson, who's done an excellent job at the Bexhurst. Still, I've got an outside chance, of course. They've got Aylesbury United this afternoon. Could still sneak in there. Two teams most at danger of dropping out, AFC Dunstable and Waltham Abbey, of course. Really, it would take something to catch Ware as far as Welling Garden City are concerned, because they've got an inferior goal difference as well. The ball on that far side with Louis Walsh. Walsh puts it down the line to Sade. Walsh again tries to drift inside Joe Diamond's, beaten to it, gets the ball back off of Clements, but it all then breaks down, and Rosner will pick it up inside the centre circle for AFC. No change to what you get from them. You get good football played along the ground from Joe Oxley's team. That's how they built their season. A good ball on that far side releases Tamlin, whose ball across is spilled by Fred Burbidge, who two players went in on the near side. In fact, it was Ben Wayman's ball across, and Fred Burbidge has gone down inside the 6-yard box, and there's AFC Dunstable player down there as well, and let's hope Fred's okay. Always just a little worrying when he does go down, but it was quite a collision between the pair of them. Yeah,
it was, wasn't it? It looked like he's okay. The referee's saying there's no need for a physio to come on, so that's good news for both of the players.
Yeah, I think it's Arnold Shazi who's the AFC Dunstable player. Meanwhile, we've got one with his shirt off here. He's brave in this weather, isn't he? Oh, dear.
That's your card ref.
Everybody's up and okay, which is good to see.
Yeah, he's taken his looks like he's taken his Under Armour off.
Oh, okay.
He's obviously quite warm out there.
That's Max Rosner, who's defying the temperature, I think. Throw to be taken right by the Ware dugout. Going to be taken by Kwado Bongai Kai, who's a player who's made a couple of appearances for Hartford under Ben Hurd and then drifted away as the ball finds Nicholson on the edge of the Ware aerial. Break to Brooks. Brooks has got Giorgio there for company, plays it back to Kai, puts it back for Rosner. Rosner comes forward, plays it for Tamplin on the edge of the area. Good turn by Tamplin, fires in the shot, gets a deflection, but there's a linesman's flag up on that far side. And, what we're getting for AFC Dunstable is what we really expected. Sharp football played along the ground.
Yeah, exactly. It is a pretty style of football that they play, and they've definitely got their style that they've implemented into these players and done very well. And I think it's the sort of football that's sorted to this surface as well.
Only failed to score 3 times this season of AFC. As Alex Warman looks for a 4-8, Guy gets the header in and puts it out. It's going to be thrown to Ware down by the AFC Dunstable dugout. They were 4th in the Form League, Ware are top. Two very much informed sides as Joe Diamond picks the ball up, shields it away from Wayman. Brings in Giorgio again, who finds Alex Warman, turns away from Walsh, plays it on this near side for Joe Dearman, but Guy manages to get the tackle in and gives the ball to Ben Wayman, who finds Nicholson, who under pressure does well to bring in Louis Walsh, and here come AFC Dunstable with Rocco Tamplin down that right-hand side. David Sota is the defender, but Tamplin has given it away tamely to Mitch Hahn, and Ware can come back in the opposite direction here with Joe Dearman. Plenty of room to run into, plays the ball forward. It's a poor one in front of Clements. Savory can't get near it, and the goalkeeper Stacey collects it easily. There's an opportunity for Ware to break forward, but couldn't do so. As Kai just there's linesman's flag. The ball actually went out on this near side, and player down actually. Yoav Sade is down on that far side for AFC, so the physiotherapist sponge person Nakini Jayakodi has come on. didn't see that actually. Didn't see what the problem was there.
No, I didn't see. It didn't seem like there was any sort of clash or anything like that between a couple of the players. So I don't know if he's carrying any sort of niggle anyway, but going into the game. But obviously, we hope he can continue.
Yeah, I've got a defender on the bench in the shape of Dan Tago, who's former AFC Rushton and Diamonds player, but they're looking a little bit concerned towards the bench here. I've got a feeling they might need to make a change. Sade hasn't got up. He came back in the starting lineup. He missed the game.
Looks like they are making a change.
3-3 against Tame. In fact, it's going to be the 15 that's going to come on. Callum Martin, who's more of a midfield player. Started his young career at Alma Green, and so that's a sad exit for Yoav Sade, who hasn't had the best of times. And Ware is concerned, as said he was unlucky during the COVID season to come here on loan from Oxford United and didn't really play a lot. But they're still waiting almost like he's going to come on the far side. I think the signal's now got across on that far side that AFC are going to make the substitution. So Callum Martin will come on. And it looks as if he's going to slot into that right back position where Sade was. That's the last thing you want, of course, injuries this close to getting into the playoffs. Playoffs are all about keeping your squad fit and having some momentum going into it. Both these teams have got a bit of momentum going in, so they really want their first choice lineups to be able to be named. Rosner playing Strzelski, who plays the ball out on that far side, gives Martin his first touch. Strzelski to Rosner. Rosner to Strzelski. Happy to play the ball about at the back. We're fairly happy for them to do so. Not putting much of a press forward. Ben Wayman picks the ball up now. Long ball looking to release Tamlin on that far side. That was a good ball by Ben Wayman. Here's Rocco Tamplin, puts it across the box. Headed down by Louis Walsh. Should have scored but put it wide.
Oh, me. I mean, how has he missed that? Absolutely. He's going to be absolutely devastated himself. And, he's got an open goal there, literally sort of like, a couple of yards off the line, and he's headed it down and headed it wide.
Well, it's a super move. That's what they're all about. Lovely ball from Ben Wayman to Rocco Tamplin on the right-hand side. Crossover. Nobody had picked up Louis Walsh. He's looking down at the ground knowing he should have put AFC Dunstable 1 up. Let off for Ware with 15 minutes of the game gone here at Watson Park. Still 0-0. 90 minutes live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. Here's Joe Dearman inside the Dunstable half. He's fouled by Tamplin and Martin, and Ware have got themselves a free kick in a decent position. This 35 yards out, more or less just a little bit left of central. John Clements is there with Mitch Hahn having a little bit of a discussion what they want to do with it. Joe Dearman's there as well. Coker and Grosvenor have come up from the back. So let's see what Ware can conjure up from this position. Haven't really tested Stacey so far in the opening 15 minutes. Let's see if they can test him here. Alex Warman there as well. Alex with the right, Joe Dearman with the left is the choice here. But it's going to be Alex Warman who's just going to chip it, looking for Grosvenor. He can't get there, but Mitch Hahn hits it and connected well. And Stacey was happy to see that just go wide of a post.
Yeah, I mean, good eyes there from Mitch to spot the opportunity, and he really hit that with some pace. But unfortunately, it goes just wide.
So we've got a big take in. Callum Nicholson picks the ball up. He played a few games at Welling Garden City, 15 or so, but was never really first choice there. But he's had an excellent season for AFC Dunstable. Ball given away by Rosner to Mitch Hahn, midway inside the Dunstable half. Here's John Clements, good footwork. Takes him across the field where he finds Joe Dearman. Dearman there with Tamplin and now David Sota. Joe Dearman will get it back, pulls the ball across the area, goes all the way across. Kai clears it to the edge of that area and then manages to get it away under challenge from Alex Warman. and AFC Dunstable will get themselves a free kick. Ware crowd not happy, but I think that was a free kick all day long.
Yeah, I do. Just a little bit of a not reckless, but a little bit of a late challenge there from Alex, and obviously the ref just said to him, Alex, make sure the player's okay. Referees just says to him, just be a little bit careful and get on with the game.
I think that's fairly sensible refereeing. Some referees we've seen this season would have brandished the yellow card there, but our referee, Mr. Barnett, didn't. Another long ball on that far side from Ben Wayman to Tamplin. It's something Ware have got to sort out because it's caught them out on a couple of occasions. Tamplin's there again, and this time David Soter gets in the way, and AFC Dunstable win a corner on that far side of the field. But that diagonal ball left to right is causing some problems. Yeah,
it is, isn't it? 2 or 3 times now that Ben Wayman's played that ball over. We know where you can play that sort of ball, and as you say, has caused a couple of issues.
Corner's been taken short to Louis Walsh. Here's Nicholson, puts it to the edge of the area, gets it back from Brooks, and then another deflection takes it away. AFC Dunstable's second corner, which will be on that far side of the field. Wind gets up, sun's gone in, starting feeling nippy again. Callum Nicholson will take the corner on the far side with the right boot, swings out, Coker's missed it, but it deflects to Theo Ofori midway inside his own half. He's got red shirts all round him and does well to get round them. Here goes Theo with some pace, got Mitch Harns to the left, he's got Joe Dearman, and Theo Ofori is still going. Yes, Theo Ofori still going. Theo Ofori still going, fires it in, it's in by Mitch Harn! But there's a linesman's flag up on this near side. It was almost Theo Ofori against AFC Dunstable there, but in the end, Mitch Harn put it in and it won't count.
Oh, what work there from Theo. Absolutely fantastic run. He got this crowd really excited, and that's what he does. That's the sort of thing he can do, and it was fantastic work there from Theo. Just unfortunate that the linesman's flag went up.
Well, best chance for the home side as Martin gets the ball away from Joe Dearman on that far side. Tamplin finds Nicholson. Jack Dreyer gets in there though and does well. Wins a throw in for Ware on that far side of the field. Just get the feeling that tempo's upping a bit here. 20 minutes gone at Watson Park, so 0-0 between Ware and AFC Dunstable. 2-1 earlier in the season, 2-1 last season as well. Theo Ofori scored on that occasion along with Brandon Adams as Mitch Harn brings in David Soter on the far side. Low cross dealt with by Wayman, but it'll be at the expense of a throw-in on that far side, which Mitch Harn will take. Quite fancied a long throw. Grosvenor asking the question, should I go up from the back? The answer is yes. Jack Grosvenor trots into the area. Mitch Harn will take the throw on the far side for Ware. Looks for Grosvenor, gets that flick on again, but rather up in the air. On by Clements, out by Rossner to Louis Walsh, who does well to maintain possession on this near side of the field. He's got David Soter in unfamiliar position, playing on the right-hand side. Quick throw taken by Nicholson, looking for Brooks. Echo Coker's there. Nicholson's on the edge of the area. Nicholson's inside the area, pulls the ball back, but Jack Grayer's there to clear for Ware on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's all certainly gone up in terms of pace here as Theo Ofori controls the ball well inside his own half. Looks to release Clements, but Rosner's in the way. Kai with it in front of us needs a bit of a breather. Puts his foot on the ball. Got a bit frantic in the last couple of minutes here at Watson Park. 90 minutes live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. Our 35th game of the season is at 0-0. We're certainly hoping that our season tally will consist of another 3. One next week definitely, and then a playoff semi-final and final. And they come Ware with Theo Ofori. Theo's on the edge of the area onto the left foot, but the shot is blocked. He'll get it back though, and in the end it's Rosner who gets it clear to Mitch Harn midway inside the Ware half. This is better from the home side as David Soter turns the ball back into his own half for Jack Grosvenor. It's taken them a while at times to get going this season. Statistics tell you they score far more goals in the second half of games than they do in the first. 48-29. Good ball forward by David Soter, and Stacey has to come out and collect it away from the on-running John Clements. Here's Ben Wayman, the dangerous Ben Wayman, who really was very much a winger when he was playing at Hertford, but revels in that central midfield role these days. Ball on the near side for Steph Giorgio. Here's Theo Ofori, gets a shove in the back from Kai, and the referee decides that was too much contact, and Ware will get themselves a free kick. Theo didn't have the best of games last week, but when he plays, Ware plays, and he looks up for it this afternoon.
Yeah, he definitely does, doesn't he? He's playing really well so far in this game, and he's causing AFC all sorts of problems there when he's running at them. So hopefully we'll have plenty more of that to come this game.
Steph Giorgio is going to take the kick. Just noticed that he's got ripped socks on the left but not on the right. What's that all about? Is that a fashion statement? No idea.
Well, I mean, I know it's to do with the calves, isn't it? So the socks are too tight around their calves. But I don't know. Maybe he's got one calf bigger than the other.
Get bigger socks. It's Alex Warman who's going to take the free kick anyway from right in front of us here. Drives it across, looking for the run of Grosvenor, but it's too far in front. And Stacey will collect it on the edge of his 6-yard box. John Clements just gets in his way and stops an early bowl out to Ben Wayman. It goes to him anyway, and then Wayman plays it across the area to Patrick Staszewski. Staszewski looks for some movement forward, and Brooks is offside. But interestingly, non-linesman's flag up on that far side, but there was no doubt there was a couple offside there as well. Matt Shazi had got himself in an offside position, but Fred Burbage kicks it downfield onto the head of Rosner. Will break on this right-hand side of the box where Kai and Theo Ofori are wrestling. And Kai comes out with the ball. Long ball forward, but Matt Shazi once again looked to be in an offside position. But once again, a linesman flag didn't go up.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. I don't know why he's not put his flag up. I don't know if it's... sometimes, we're told that, they have to delay their decision, but... It seems pointless to me to delay it when it's obvious who the ball's going to and who it's aimed for, and that he's clearly offside.
25 minutes gone here. Ware 0, AFC Dunstable 0. One really good chance at either end. But AFC Dunstable forced to make a change with Yoav Sade limping off after 14 minutes. Very even. Max Rosner, midway inside his own half, gets it back from Kai. Rosner again looks for some of the guns short, but then Staszewski has it on that far side. A little bit of keep ball between the two teenage centre-backs again as Rosner drives it against Mitch Hahn, and Stacey has to come out and then put the ball out of play. A little bit of panic stations there as Mitch Hahn gets himself a little bit involved with Joe Oxley, who got in his way and trying to receive the ball back. Mitch tries to get it away from Nicholson, who's robbed of it though by Brooks, and the ball's back with Seb Stacey. Joe Oxley looks a bit grumpy down there, doesn't he?
He don't look happy, does he, at all?
Ball with Martin on that far side, and now back with the young goalkeeper Stacey. Brings in Rosner. It's patient stuff, and AFC playing this patient game, and then they'll try and release players forward. They've got 4 forward at the moment. Brooks is up in support as well on this left-hand side, and Louis Walsh through the middle as Wayman plays out the far side for Martin. Alex Warman misses the tackle on Ben Wayman. Could be costly, but Mitch Hahn goes in to get the ball. Tamplin's there, everybody's wrestling for it. In the end, it'll break to Steph Giorgio, who thumps out that far side looking for Joe Dearman. Martin gets his head there, and Ben Wayman comes back and rescues it for AFC Dunstable. Ball finds its way back to the edge of the 6-yard box for the goalkeeper Stacey. Finds Ben Wayman again with that left foot, ships it forward. Fred Burbage comes out, heads the ball on that left-hand side. David Sota manages to keep it in play. Jack Dreyer misses it. Staszewski doesn't, but it's up in the air by Ben Wayman. All a bit scrappy as it's headed forward by Alex Warman. John Clements is making life difficult for Stazruski on that far side, but he does well on a long boot forward by the keeper Stacey, and in the end it's a free kick to AFC, which is taken very quickly. Louis Walsh looking for Nicholson on this near side, but the long legs of Echo Goga get Ware out of trouble, and the ball goes out of play for a throw in. This time it's Joe O'Brien who's being pushed about when he's trying to give the ball back to AFC Dunstable. There's a little bit of unnecessary needle creeping in as Kai will take the throw in and find Rosner inside the Ware half. That's Rosner centre field, but it comes off of Walsh, but the ball for Joe Dearman's not a good one. Martin will get it all the way back to the goalkeeper Stacey. 28 minutes gone here on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. Half time we will let you know what's happening elsewhere in the league. Welwyn Garden City and Hertford both in action this afternoon. Hertford's final home game against Cirencester, a team who for so long looked like they might be in the shake-up for the playoffs, but they dropped off the pace. It was almost the afternoon they lost 1-0 here that they dropped off the base from then on as AFC come forward. It's the dangerous Rocco Tamplin, brings in Nicholson, plays it back to Kai midway inside the Ware half. He's forced backwards by Jack Dreyer. Plays the ball back to Stazewski. Stazewski's long ball forward is over the top of Nicholson, and it will all come to nothing and go out of play on this near side of the field, which has James Townsend and Joe Oxley having a bit of a shout at their team, unhappy with what transpired there. The throw's going to be taken by Steph Giorgio down by the halfway line. Good crowd here at Watson this afternoon as the ball lands at the feet of Brooks, who gets a lucky ricochet and then puts the ball inside for the number 9 Matt Shazi, but Jack Grosvenor sorts that out for Ware. But it's a throw into the ODs, taken down by the corner flag by Kyle Brooks. In fact, he's going to leave it to Kai, who's going to take the throw in. Kai gets it back off of Nicholson. Will look to tee up the cross perhaps, but in the end he looked to send Kyle Brooks away inside the area, and it all went wrong, and Fred Burbage has it. The goal kick, it's going to be for Ware. Thought it'd be time, absolutely is.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? You know, a couple of chances for falling for either side, and as you say, it's nothing between these two teams really at the moment at all.
Fred Burbage with the goal kick from the goal away to our left-hand side. Up until the beginning of the game, 292 minutes without conceding a goal for Fred Burbage. 3 consecutive clean sheets for Ware. Something that at times they had found so hard to come by, but recently it seems to be enormous. Theo Ofori drifts into the area but then gives the ball away to Nicholson. Kai will find Rosner, who didn't really want that one, on the edge of his area, and in the end he thumps it off of Theo Ofori and gives a throw in to AFC Dunstable. A little bit of indecision inside the box. Callum Nicholson, the skipper, just having a shout where he thought things should happen as Kai clears the ball. And as far as Alex Warman, who heads it down for Joe Dearman, goes back to the halfway line for David Sota. Here's Joe Dearman again, gets the ball back to David Sota. Jack Grosvenor midway inside his own half, plays it to his right to Echo Coker onto the halfway line for Steph Giorgio. He's got Brooks there and manages to win a throw in for Ware. Steph will find Jack Dreyer in the yellow boots, gives the ball back to him, and Steph did well to stop that going out as it was at chest height. Another throw into Ware. Alex Warman coming short, but looks like Steph's going to go down the line. Right in front of us here, inside the AFC Dunstable half, down that line, looking for Theo Ofori. He's got Rosner behind him. Theo trying to trick his way round Kai, but linesman's flag goes up to signal a free kick to Dunstable. Keen to get on with it when they get a free kick. They've done it again quickly as the ball threads out to Callum Martin on that far side of the field. Inside for Louis Walsh, who's had the best opportunity of the game so far with that header, which he put tamely wide when he was unmarked at the far post. ball finds its way to Rosner inside the AFC Dunstable half for Kai. Rosner will get it back. Patient build-up once again. Seb Stacey. Stazurski plays the ball to Nicholson, who comes short. Kai is in advanced position up on this near side. Ball in the end cannons off of Mitch Hahn and goes out for a throw-in, which Kai will put back into his own half for Rosner. Rosner again will play another ball across the back. See Dunstable comfortable in possession, all these players, as Nicholson will pick the ball up. Nicholson just shy of the halfway line, then tries to release Tamplin on that far side. David Soto is in the way, and it goes all the way back to Fred Burbidge. Final game of the season will be at Biggleswade Town, which could be a celebration of the league championship for Biggleswade Town, of course. Interesting game for Ware. Final game of the season for AFC Dunstable will be a home tie against Barton Rovers, who can prove difficult opponents, have they shown this season. Alex Warman for Ware. Back inside his own half for Jack Grosvenor. Brings in David Soter on our halfway line. David chips the ball forward, looking for John Clement. Bounces off of Clemo's head. And one bounce through to the young goalkeeper Seb Stacey, and John Clement's finding it a bit difficult getting involved in the game at the moment.
Yeah, he's not really had any opportunities as he's so far, and hopefully there will be something that opens up for him. And because when he gets those chances, we know he's got a good chance of taking them.
Ben Wayman's ball through the middle, and Brooks is there, but so is Echo Goga. The Sky is the highest one of the afternoon from Echo Goga. And Mitch Hahn will play it out on that far side for Joe Dearman. I haven't really seen him have a run against Martin, who's come on in unfamiliar position at left back. Might be something I'm sure Joe O'Brien will note at half time, as John Clements does do well, controls the ball away from Steswuski, but it's Ben Wayman who comes forward, brings in Kyle Brooks, still inside his own half, plenty forward in red shirts here. Rocco Tamplin is one of them, but Mitch Hahn will do well to get to the ball in front of him and find Joe Dearman. Joe moves in to the AFC Dunstable half for John Clements, who's beaten to it well in the end by Stazurski. Tamplin then gives the ball away to Mitch Hahn. Mitch Hahn's ball bounces off the back of Tamplin's head, and Jack Dreyer ends a scrappy passage of play by winning Ware a throw-in on that far side. Selections for Paul Halsey, Jack Dreyer wearing that 10 shirt, George Ironton on the bench.
Yeah, I don't know if George is still suffering with his injury a little bit, and I think with how long George has been out, would he be more beneficial? So perhaps coming off the bench.
Here's Joe Dearman, finds Theo Ofori right hand side of the area. He's got Kai in front of him. Theo goes on a run, gets the ball across the area. Ben Wayman's there. Theo goes in again, but Kai manages to get it clear as far as the halfway line, and Jack Grosvenor, who just chips it to the left hand side for David Soter, sends Joe Dearman going down the left hand side. Can Joe keep it in? He can. He's in the area, pulls it across the area, but straight at Stacey, who juggles it just a little bit, then collects it and bowls it out to Brooks. AFC looking to catch Ware on the counter. Ben Wayman got Giorgio in front of him, goes square for his skipper Callum Nicholson. He's got Callum Martin on that far side. David Soter in front of him, but the momentum's gone just a little bit from the attack. Wayman trying to pick it up again. Ball on the far side though will break for David Soter, and in the end it'll stay in play. In fact, curve in by Callum Nicholson. Nicholson coming from right to left, finds Brooks, chips it on this near side of Ben Wayman, who seems to be everywhere. His ball forward, looking for Kyle Brooks. Brooks puts it across the area, goes over everybody. Matt Shazi was in the area, but couldn't get near it. The ball will go out for a throw-in to Ware, far side of the field. And, we've had just 37 minutes the first half here. Nothing between these two sides. In fact, there's only a point between them in the table. Absolutely shows so far at Watson Park, although we're looking for their 9th consecutive home victory. There have been a few 1-0s in that as well, and adverse to getting one goal and then shutting up shop. But at the moment they've got to get the goal as the ball is with Staszewski. Plays the ball to Nicholson on the halfway line. Nicholson's ball on this near side looks for Louis Walsh, but Theo Ofori will pick it up for Ware and put it back to Steph Giorgio. Theo is being pushed by Kai, and Ware will have themselves a free kick just in front of the dugout on this near side of the field. Wherever you're listening to us or listening to us from, very good afternoon to you. 32 countries we've reached this season with 90 minutes live. If you're in warmer climes, then good for you, because it really is a bit chilly here this afternoon as Stacey comes out to Rob Clements, and once more Ben Wayman's got some space, and that's something I'm sure Joe O'Brien will note at half time as well. But Ben Wayman's getting that space in the midfield, finding those positions. And it's space where need to close down as Callum Martin comes forward on that far side. The Dunstable's got Alex Warman in front of him, and Alex just pushes the ball out for a throw in, which taken quickly. It's only one thing for AFC Dunstable, they do want to get on with it. Ball on this near side finds Kai on the halfway line. His ball is a poor one, and Paul Halsey shows a good fleet of foot to deflect it back there. I think he enjoyed that, the governor, didn't he?
He did, didn't he? Yeah. Shows how quick he was. He had a little smile on his face afterwards as well. So,
yes, not bad for a goalkeeper, really. As Steph Giorgio will take the throw. Jack Brown's header forward is pounced on by Rosner. Echo Coker is there. Hits the ball, though, straight to Rocco Tamplin. And Tamplin's ball asks Callum Martin to come forward on that far side. Let's go back towards the halfway line for Nicholson. It's the ever-present Ben Wayman with the red boots. Plays it onto the halfway line for Rosner. Wayman's got it again on that right-hand side. Plays the ball for Nicholson. Very much the heartbeat of this team, Callum Nicholson and Ben Wayman. As Staszewski starts to come forward, surrounded by blue and white shirts, goes backwards for Kai, who goes even further back for Rosner inside the centre circle. Sun comes out again at the chilly Watson Park. Ben Wayman's got it far side of the field, midway inside the Ware half. Plays the ball back to the halfway line for Rosner. Rosner's long ball is over the top of Matt Shazi and goes out for a throw in the Ware.
That's the problem, isn't it? You say about the balls that Ben Wayman's playing over for Rocco Tamplin on that right hand side. It seems a lot of the time, they're playing these balls down the left hand side and they're hitting them too far.
Yeah, it's absolutely has been the case. I think really, you look at the midfield. There does seem to be a bit of a gap at the moment between Jack Dreyer, Alex Warman, and Mitch Hahn, and that's the space that Nicholson and Ben Wayman are exploiting, and it's where I think need to just close things up a little bit in that midfield quadrant.
Yeah, definitely. It's something. I'm sure, as you say, Joe spotted it, Paul spotted it. And something they'll be implementing to the team at half time, but just hopefully they just need to make it to their first.
Far side, David Sota in possession, finds Joe Dearman on the halfway line. Joe going down that left hand side, brought down by Ben Wayman, who protests his innocence, but free kick will be taken midway inside the AFC Dunstable half on that far side of the field by Alex Warman. Grosvenor and Coker are coming up from the back again for Ware. Alex puts the ball down. The Jets, having gone from Stansted, by the look of it, goes overhead as Alex takes the kick. Up they go, but it's Kai who gets there first, under no pressure either. An AFC could break here, as here comes Lewis Walsh, but I think Mitch Hahn might get a yellow card. Mitch Hahn does get a yellow card for the challenge on Louis Walsh. That really isn't a form of taking one for the team there, I think, because it could have been dangerous.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It is one of those cases, isn't it? Definitely for me.
Well, thankfully suspensions are all done with, so obviously not in case of a red card, but in case of topping up with yellow cards, it won't matter for the run in to the end of the season and the playoffs, as Ben Wayman picks the ball up far side onto the halfway line, and Staszewski plays the ball for Rosner. Rosner forward, looking for Kai, who comes centre field here. Manages to evade the challenge of Echo Copeland, bringing Kyle Brooks down the line to Louis Walsh. Kyle Brooks will get it back onto the halfway line for Nicholson, and then goes right-hand side for Patrick Staszewski. Staszewski picks up a bit of pace, comes forward, finds Martin back for Ben Wayman. Ben Wayman looks for Kai, who again has drifted infield, the left back. Tries the shot, but not quite sure. That was a shot, cross, chip, or what it was, but whatever it was, didn't really worry Fred Burbage.
No, it didn't worry him at all. I think it was a little bit ambitious for him there, but I mean, the thing is, Pete, I mean, you never know. You try that sort of effort, and they can come off every now and then. But there was absolutely no danger of that one for Fred.
It's going to be the goal kick taken by Fred away from the goal to our left with the trusty left boot, as John Clements gets a little bit involved there with Staszewski. Staszewski felt he got a hand in the face, and the referee gives a free kick to AFC as Rosner picks it up inside his own half, just gets it away from Clements and back to the goalkeeper Stacey, who finds Staszewski. Staszewski for Ben Wayman, who drops into the back four to pick up the ball, very much the playmaker along with Callum Nicholson in the team, as Rosner's ball forward looks for Louis Walsh on this near side, can't collect it, and the ball will run out of play for a throw into Ware. We're in the final minute of the first half here. 0-0, Watson Park, and a couple of chances. The most prominent has fallen to AFC Dunstable's Louis Walsh, who missed a header where he knows he should have done better, as Joe Dearman goes forward, but Stacey's out and does well. The young goalkeeper deflects the ball on that far side, and Callum Martin may well keep it in. That was sensible play by the goalkeeper. Some keepers might have ballooned that ball out, but he kept it in play, and AFC Dunstable are coming forward here as Ben Wayman fires in the shot. Fred Burbage just scurries away to his left-hand side. Don't think he was unduly worried, but it goes wide of the target. But interesting from the young goalkeeper. Thanks. A lot of goalkeepers would just come down and thump that ball, wouldn't they? But he kept his head well.
Yeah, he did. And for a young goalkeeper, as you say, 17 years old, it's very good decision making there, I think.
Fred Burbage from the goal away to our left-hand side. But Wolsey looks pensive as he looks at his watch with his arms crossed inside the technical area, composing what he's going to say to his team. It's been fairly familiar. 29 goals for and 31 against in the first half of games, 48-4 for Ware in the second halves of games this season. They have been much, much better after half-time, as John Clements can't keep the ball in, and it will go out of play for a throw in. We've had a minute and a half added on. Can't think we've got too much more. There was the injury to Yoav Sade, and also the one where Fred Burbage and Matt Shazi went down inside the 6-yard box, so maybe another minute as Nicholson chips it forward looking for the runaway man, but Fred Burbage again is out edge of the area. Long clearance forward, look to release Theo Ofori up in the air rather than clear from Rosner. Jack Dreyer gets there first. John Clements brings it back down the ground, but that is going to be the end of the action in the first half. Mooted reception from the crowd, I think, as it's been tight, it's been tense between two teams who know that a result here will put them a place in the playoffs. But at half-time at Watson Park, Ware 0, AFC Dunstable 0.
Yeah, as you say, Pete, a tight half between these two sides. A couple of chances, and obviously, as you said before, the best chance to fall into AFC Dunstable. But that goal or that disallowed goal I say that the mix put in from Theo's run, giving Ware positive thoughts, and Theo has really troubled that AFC Dunstable defence. So hopefully Paul and Joe will go into the dressing room at half time and give the guys their thoughts, and they'll come out pumping and ready to rock, and take the second half by the scruff of the neck, so to speak.
Well, all to play for in the second 45 minutes. As it stands, a point would book Ware a place in the post-season. They will be in the playoffs, but they really want a home playoff semi-final here. Need all 3 points to make sure of that. Things that could happen this afternoon. Tame could go down this afternoon if they fail to win, or if Aylesbury or Kidlington win. And the playoff positions will be decided if Welwyn Garden City don't beat Aylesbury, because they need to beat Aylesbury United at the Pexhurst. We'll let you know how they're getting on shortly. Hertford home this afternoon as well to Cirencester. The other ones involving the top of the table: Biggleswade Town at North Lee and Bedford away at Leighton. You've got to say, looking on that, Bedford have got a harder task. Leighton, it could be it's a difficult place to go. Is Leighton Town. They've no doubt they'll have a big crowd there, because they're very well supported, so it'll be interesting to see what that one is at half time. Well, the 90 minutes live in association with Easy Shelf Direct Golden Boot is all over, I would suggest, unless something really miraculous. Was that miraculous? Yeah, it was. Something miraculous happens in the next week or so. Eben Mabona of Hatfield Town, hats off to him, 34 goals this season in the Hart Senior County League. He heads the way. Jamie Marshall for Hertford Heath with 21 in second place. 2 tied for third. Kamari Collington of Hatfield Town, and Kendall Giamfi, who's had a couple of good weeks, has taken his tally up to 20 for AFC Welwyn, who can get promoted this afternoon if they get a result in their game in Spartan League Division 2 against Codicott. Adam Bayliss of Hertford Heath's got 18, and Derno Winter of Welwyn Garden City has 18. So they're the standings in the men's Golden Boot. There is some football this week to look forward to. On Tuesday in the Hart Senior County League Premier Division, Hertford Heath, who are having a super season, go to Lemsford. In Division 1, AFC Welwyn's development team are at home to Hatfield United, and Westmill are having a good season as well at home to Waltham Cross. Action in Spartan South Midlands League Division 2, well, AFC Welwyn, if they don't have a celebration this afternoon, could have one on Tuesday night. They're away to Pitstone and Ivinghoe. And on Wednesday there's action in Southern League Division 1 Central, with Hertford making their final away trip, their penultimate away trip of the season away at Biggleswade, one that we were due to do commentary on earlier in the season when it was postponed due to the problems they had at the pitch there at the New Erie in Bedford. This time next week, well, no surprise, we'll be at Biggleswade Town with Ware for the final regular season game, as the Americans call it. Could be, because Wade Town could be champions by then. They could be champions on the day. Even Ware could be champions then, or could be in the playoffs, or anything could happen. But it's going to be an interesting afternoon in Bedfordshire this time next week, and plenty of interest throughout the region and beyond, I'm sure, in Southern League Division 1 Central, because the half times look like this.
Yeah, I've got the the latest half-time results here. So Barton Rovers 0, Hadley 1. So obviously the Bricks there 1-0 up at half-time, but they are down to 10 men. Biggleswade 0, Kidlington 1. So another one goal there in that one. It's 1-1 at the Smile IT Stadium between Hertford Town and Cirencester Town. Cirencester took the lead, and Brian Garzon equalising for Hertford just before half-time. Same score at the game between Kempston Rovers and Stopfold, 1-1 there. And game between Leighton Town and Bedford Town. Bedford Town are 1-0 up. Northley versus Biggleswade Town. Northley's woes seem to be continuing. Biggleswade Town are 1-0 up on them. So the first and second place in the table is still both leading at half time. So still all to play for in the race for the title. Tame United, they're facing Kings Langley. Obviously, it's Kings Langley's last game of the season, and we've said, Pete, when we watched them, the last few weeks, we saw them 2 games in a row, and it looked like they was, thinking it was the season was over already, and it seems like it's that for them today. And down at the Pexhurst, it's not good for Mark Weatherstone and his team, as Aylesbury United are 2-0 up on Welwyn Garden City. I'll bring you news from the women's Golden Boot, and just like the men's, with I'll just call him Echo, I think, after the other week. The women's, there is a clear leader, and it looks like that's all over as well. And she has been for a while. Padefire from St Margaret's-Bury, she leads the way on 28. She scored last week, as did Laura Cousins from Sherards Wood, who is in second now on 18. Sophie Vale from Wadson Park, she comes third on 16. Followed closely by Christina O'Connell, her teammate. Just behind us here, she's on 12, as is Jessica Duff from Bury Rangers, and Claire Cranfield from Sherards Wood and she also scored last week. So that's the latest in the women's Golden Boot.
Well, the Golden Boots look to be sewn up. I have some news about the Golden Boot in the close season, because we're looking at hopefully getting perhaps a bit of sponsorship for it and things like that. So plenty to look forward to there. 0-0 here, and looking at the way things are going then at half time, unless there is a miraculous comeback by Welwyn Garden City as they trail 2-0 against Aylesbury United. It looks like these two teams have already booked a playoff place, so it's going to be all about who's going to be at home in the semi-finals now. Yeah,
of course. All the teams involved will be wanting a home tie. Although AFC Dunstable, their away form's that good. I guess they won't be too concerned. But I think it is. It's all about getting a home tie for the semi-final. And then hopefully, potentially, the final for them as well.
And certainly, looking at you look at those scores and carry it forward to next week. It's going to go to the wire as far as the title is concerned, because there'll be 3 points separating Biggleswade Town and Bedford. But Bedford have got a 4-goal advantage on goal difference. They've also scored more goals this season, so Bedford will be hoping Ware can do them a favour next week.
Yeah, definitely. It's really nice. I think that obviously we've said on the commentaries before that everyone thought that Bedford were going to run away with the title, and at one stage it looked like they were doing so. But Biggleswade Town have done well to put it back. Ware obviously being in contention as well, and it makes for an interesting last couple of weeks. And I don't think there will be another league in the country where it's all still up for grabs and it's as tight as this one is.
Yeah, it's been throughout the season really. There've been teams that have flattered with it. Everybody thought Cirencester would be there, and they dropped off the base. Welwyn Garden City looked at the stage that they had the games in hand, and they picked up a bit of form. They'd be in there. There was Hadley made a late run. There's all sorts of teams really that have been involved, both top and bottom. Because at the bottom, sadly, Kempston were relegated, which is a real shame. But this afternoon at the moment anyway, if we look at the bottom of the table, Tame are winning, but unfortunately for them, so are Gidlington and Aylesbury. So it looks like, despite the fact if Tame do beat Kings Langley, they'll still go down today.
Yeah, it does. It's unfortunate for them. Come back to what I was saying at the top. Let's think there's 1 week to go before the end of the season, and there's only 2 teams confirmed for getting a playoff place, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I will say one thing that I've just noticed, Pete. I've just seen Richard Enning come off, his training tops off, his bibs off. He's got his main match shirt on, and he's just gone running down the tunnel. So
interesting.
Potentially, might be a change at half time from Paul Halsey.
We'll see what happens there. Major talking point of the week then, thanks to our friend Jamie Gill, who mentioned it on Facebook. The FA, well, I don't know how to describe them really.
How long have we got?
How long have we got? Are they? The major thing that affects non-league footballers, they have decided in their infinite wisdom that from the first round of the FA Cup next season there will be no replays. There's been some cock and bull excuse about Premiership players playing too much football and the welfare of players, etc. Well, they forgot to notice it appears is the Premiership teams don't actually come in to the competition to the third round, so it makes no difference to them at all, but it can be a lifeline. And one thing I read actually, for people of a certain age like me, and they show it every year on the TV, you get Ronnie Bradford scoring for Hereford against Newcastle, and Ricky George got the other goal. They beat Newcastle 2-1, one of the greatest upsets in FA Cup history. And someone pointed out this morning on one of the social media channels that actually under these news rules wouldn't have happened, because the first game was drawn and that was in a replay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a crazy decision. I mean, obviously, I don't remember that. I've seen it plenty of times because, as you say, every year it pops up on TV or in the FA Cup games. But it's absolutely ludicrous decision. It's just thinking of the so-called bigger teams. Whatever suits them. I mean, they've said it was a consultation between the FA, the Premier League, and the Football League. But the Football League seem to think that they weren't involved in it. And the thing that gets me, I mean, I said this to you, pre-match, Pete, when we arrived here and was discussing things like this. If these Premiership players, or Premier League players, sorry, are playing too much football, then why the hell, at the end of the season, 3 days after the end of the season, are Tottenham and Newcastle flying all the way to Australia for an exhibition game? It's because they just want to make more money. That's all it's about. It's about making more money for the big clubs. And obviously a lot of fans are in uproar about it. And do you know what? I hope it makes even more fans uproar about it, and makes them annoyed. I'm nearly sure there. Sorry, and it makes them annoyed with all these Premier League players, and it entices them to come and watch their local football team, because that will be just desserts, I think. And one other thing I will say, we had all the debacle a couple of seasons about the Super League. Let them go off and join the Super League. Let them do that. Go and make all the millions they want. Yeah, we don't need them.
Yeah, I think someone made that point actually and said, well, okay, let all those teams go, and non-league football and the EFL get together and have their own competition, and say, well, yeah, we don't need you lot. And I think the more and more it looks like coming to it. Kevin Goon's got the board out, by the way, so there will be a substitution. And more comes down to what we were talking about the other week, that the game that I now watch and commentate on, 35 commentaries or 34 and a half commentaries we've done this season. This bears no relationship to what I watch on Match of the Day or what appears on the TV anymore. It's not the same game. No. And and the FA as well. I just want to make the point that 3 seasons ago in the FA Cup, this shows how much the FA know about their own competition. They actually were surprised when non-league teams complained that some of their players had picked up yellow cards in the qualifying competition and were then suspended for first-round ties against league teams. And the FA actually said, we didn't realise that. Come on, it's their competition.
They didn't realise it because they give no thought to your non-league, grassroots clubs. And it just sticks. I could rant on about it all afternoon, but it's ludicrous, and it's something that the FA. I mean, I like the fact that a lot of clubs have come out and put statements out, and I understand it was like Rishi Sunak. He sort of got involved and said something as well, and I mean, hopefully, I doubt it, but hopefully the FA will reconsider their thoughts on it.
Yeah, wouldn't hold your breath on that one, but who knows? Steph Giorgio is the player that has gone off. Richard Ennin has come on. That means that Joe Dearman's going to go to right back, and Richard will play wide on the left-hand side. Not sure. I mean, Steph's been plagued by injury all season, so I'm assuming that's an injury and not a tactical switch.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, it's unlike Paul to make a half-time change without it being necessary, really. So I would think there is some sort of little niggle that might be bothering Steph.
Well, Richard Ennin, we think, has been unlucky to be out of the starting 11 anyway, so he's got a chance to show what he's all about in the second 45 here, which we're going to start kicking from right to left. 90 minutes live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. As it stands, these two teams are in the playoffs, but they don't know whether they'll have a home or an away tie in the semi-finals. So it's 45 minutes for Ware certainly to book a home tie if they can get a winner here. Referee looks at his watch, sounds the whistle, and away we go in could be the final 45 minutes of Ware's home season. We hope not, but chipped forward by Theo Ofori, looking for Richard Ennin, who's immediately robbed of the ball by Ben Wayman. Plays the ball inside, looking for Brooks, who's overcooked it, gives it away to Richard Ennin, puts it forward, but Staszewski has been most of the time. The young centre-back is in the way. Stacey's clearance finds Brooks, who finds Tampling. Good challenge coming in, first of all, from Joe Dearman. But long ball on that far side. Joe Dearman just glances at it with his head and takes it out of play for a throw-in to AFC Dunstable. Give you the two team lineups in just a moment. Both sides have made one substitution. We think both of them were injury related. Well, we know one of them was, as Kai will take the throw-in for AFC Dunstable. Looks for Tampling, who goes down cheaply, and gives me an opportunity to tell you that Ware will have Fred Burbage in goal. The back four now with Joe Dearman at right back, David Sota at left back, Echo Goga and Jack Grosvenor, the two centre-backs, Alex Warman and Mitch Hahn in central midfield. Jack Dreyer playing just in front of them, and front three then now of Richard Ennin on the left, John Clements through the middle, and Theo Ofori on the right hand side. The remaining substitutes: Kieran Bishop, George Iant and Freddie Moncur, and Ben Siggers. Ball long clearance from Martin from deep inside the AFC half. But here's Staszewski coming forward again. Certainly likes to run forward. Challenge came in from Alex Warman. It's going to be a throw in to AFC Dunstable. Taken by Kai on that far side of the field. Brings in Ben Wayman. Ben Wayman turns but then gives the ball away. Jack Dreyer will get there ahead of Nicholson. Oh, John Clements' ball to him was a poor one, and it breaks to Kai again on that far side. Goes around Mitch Hahn. Forward come AFC Dunstable. Ben Wayman tries the shots well wide of the target. So visitors have got Seb Stacey in goal. They operate with a back four, which has the substitute Callum Martin at right back. On left back, Quado Kai at left back. Two centre backs, Max Rosner and Patrick Staszewski. Then the centre of midfield, Ben Wayman and Callum Nicholson. Playing just in front of them is Louis Walsh. And a front three, which has Arnold Mazzarti as the centre forward, Kyle Brooks on this right hand side, and Rocco Tampling on the left. Their remaining substitute, Joshua Amangavi, who's the goalkeeper, Josiah Ramsey, Dan Itakoa and Dan Tago. So there are our lineups as Nicholson picks the ball up deep inside the Ware half. Finds Kai for Staszewski, who gets a lot of the ball, chips it forward. Jack Grosvenor's in the way. Wayman will collect it, bounce down off his hip. He's got Mitch Hahn in front of him, plays the ball for Nicholson, but Alex Warman pounces on that one for Ware. Turns the ball back for Grosvenor, who brings in David Sota on this near side. David just nips the ball against Brooks, and will be a throw in to Ware. David Soderud out injured for the game against Aylesbury United last week. Now back in that left back berth. Ball bounced over Tamlin for Joe Dearman, who'll bring in Theo Afori down that right hand side. Theo, with Kai in front of him, runs into Tamlin, and Kai will put the ball back for Nicholson. Every sign that the second half is starting, every bit as tight as the first half was. Kai with the ball inside his own half for AFC Dunstable, brings in Ben Wyman. Square ball to Staszewski, who puts the ball back to Ben Wyman. Wyman forward for Guile Brooks. Still this patient build-up play from AFC Dunstable as Kyle Brooks inside the Ware half. Martin had made a run down the flank, doesn't find him. Louis Walsh plays it on this near side. And the ball just as Ben Wayman goes in and down under challenge from John Clements, and AFC Dunstable get themselves a free kick. Ben Wayman was rather spectacularly flew through the air, which has someone here shouting it's a miracle he's back up walking again.
That's what we see it, at any level really, isn't it? These players trying to influence the ref and get a free kick.
Free kick has been taken, and AFC Dunstable in possession. I think they probably had the majority of the possession in this game as the ball forward breaks for Jack Dreyer though. Jack's ball looks to release Theo Afori down the right hand side. Kai the defender. Theo goes round him. Theo still there, goes down, ball goes behind. It's going to be Ware's first corner of the afternoon, which is won with 5 minutes of the second half gone.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a game of few chances for Ware. When they have got forward, they've done well, and looks like, as you say, first corner for Ware, and looks like it's going to be Joe Dearman actually to take this one.
Yeah, I think he's going to swing it in with the left boot. Alex Warman, normally the corner taker. Joe's going to take this one, puts it to the near post. Header from John Clements, a massive shout for handball, but nothing given. Fred Burbage comes out midway inside his own half, volleys the ball to the halfway line on by Alex Warman. Wayman's beaten Joe Dearman to it. He's got to get back now because Ware could be exposed down the right. Wayman goes and follows through on Alex Warman and then volleys the ball out. Difficult to see from here. There was a big shout for handball.
Yeah, there was. For a lot of people, the refs waved it away straight away though. But as you say, not exactly easy to see what happened from here.
Staszewski for Martin. Plays the ball to Brooks, turns away from Mitch Hard, then gives it away to Alex Warman, who goes down under challenge from Ben Wayman. So it's going to be a free kick to Ware. Alex Warman there will take it, plays it right hand side to Joe Dearman, who's certainly been Mr. Versatile down that right hand side this season, has filled in a few times at right back as he is now. Turns inside of Tamplin, and on this near side looks to bring in Richard Ennin. Richard Ennin with the ball and tries to have a run against Martin as David Sota goes outside. David gets the ball across the box, headed out by Staszewski to the edge of the area. Here's Joe Dearman, chips it in again, handball shouts, but certainly nothing in that one, and one bounce straight to Stacey as the referee wants a bit of a word with Kyle Brooks on that far. So in fact it's Kai he's having a word with. Quite sure what that's all about. The referee then puts the ball down, and Stacey will take it for AFC Dunstable. Well, as it stands, both teams are in the playoffs as Ben Wayman picks up the ball on the halfway line, but with Ware's home record, he certainly would like to face the semi-final here at home. Last two they faced have been away. Biggleswade last year, which they won 4-1, and then of course the year before that was at AFC Dunstable, a dramatic night when Brad Robinson saved the penalty. And Ware went through after a really tight encounter between the two teams that ended goalless. As Nicholson puts the ball back for Kyle Brooks. Ben Wayman just goes around Jack Dreyer, plays it in for Louis Walsh. Walsh looks for Tamplin, who didn't really react. And the ball goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Fred Burbage. 45 minutes plus 8, that's 53. You can add on to the 292 that Fred's gone without conceding a goal now. So he's well over 5 hours. Long kick forward looking for John Clements, who's beaten to it by Rossner. Ball forward, Walsh won't get there. Echo Goga will, and goes all the way back to Fred Burbage. Long kick forward by Fred, and Stacey has to come out the edge of the area. This time he does boot it forward. Long high one, which Echo Goga finds Alex Foreman, who brings in Theo Ofori, who's got Kai behind him. Theo turns inside, then to Alex Warman again. Alex to Mitch Hahn. Mitch Hahn for Theo Ofori. Still inside the AFC half, but only just. Back on to the halfway line for Mitch Hahn. Echo Goga swings it across to this left-hand side for Jack Grosvenor. Brings in David Soto. Richard Ennin starts the run down the left-hand touchline. Can he get the ball in? No, he can't. It'll go out for a throw-in to AFC Dunstable. As Joe O'Brien waving players forward, trying to hem the opposition in. This throws down by the corner flag. Another substitution for the visitors. It's going to be their number 12 who's going to come on. It's Dan Idakoa who is going to come on, and Rocco Tamplin who is going to come off. A little bit surprised. I think Tamplin looked dangerous in that first half, but Idakoa, who has been first choice, will now come on and play over on that left-hand side. And Joe Dearman, something else to talk about. Throw in to be taken by Callum Martin. Callum Martin with the throw right down by the corner flag then. Martin's throw onto the head of Richard Ennin. Back by Jack Dreyer, is brought down by Louis Walsh, who shrugs aside Alex Warman, but Alex gets a boot in again. Strong challenge by Richard Ennin, but it'll then break to Rosner on the edge of the area, who's tripped by Theo Ofori. And there'll be a free kick to AFC Dunstable. So like for like change by the ODs. I thought Tamplin looked fairly dangerous in that first half.
Yeah, he did. It was causing a few problems down that right hand side. Put a couple of balls in for create some good chances, especially that chance for Louis Walsh. But I think it's a bit of a surprise to see him go off.
Whittaker's got a bit of pedigree about him. Here he is. Was a youth player at Luton's, played at Hitchin at step 3. As Kai shrugs aside Mitch Hahn, but can't shrug aside Alex Warman, who manages to snaffle the ball away. Plays it back to Jack Grosvenor, all the way back to Fred Burbage. We was talking about the Jack Grosvenor effect last week. He didn't play last week, of course. This is his 13th game since signing for Ware. And so far, Ware have only lost one, as Theo Ofori on the far side brings in Joe Dearman. 9 wins, 2 draws and a defeat so far. Is Theo Ofori trying to go around Kai, who's done a reasonable job against Ware's dangerous number 7. Ben Wayman, though, in danger of almost giving the ball away as he dribbles it across his own box. And that's the kind of thing that really nightmare time for spectators watching your players do that. He got away with it in the end. And the ball breaks out on that far side for a throw-in, which Kwando Kai will take. Brings in Ben Wayman. So AFC have used 2 subs, Where have still got to use. Likes of Kieran Bishop, of course, and George Johansson on the bench, along with Freddie Moncur. Ball on the far side brings in Ben Wayman. Ball through, but Fred Burbage again is out. And I don't know, all the keepers I've seen, I don't think there's one who takes a better starting position than Fred for those through balls.
No. I mean, we've said before, haven't we? You know, he knows exactly where to be. He knows when to rush out and clear the ball, when to stay back and defend that way. And he is such an intelligent goalkeeper. He really is.
He is the real sweeper keeper, as they call it. Rosner's long ball forward. Looking for Ben Wayman, who's straight up on that far side. But
you say that, though, you say that. I mean, I wonder if he can take a penalty like Edison.
Well, hopefully in the playoffs we won't have to see.
Well,
but
we don't want to find out.
We don't want to find out, as Rosner and John Clements have gone down with a clash of heads. So Jacoby is out very much. Look at her go. She's out quick.
She darted straight off as soon as he was down. She was off the bench, bang.
Yeah. Max Rosner's up by the time she's got across, and she shifted. But John Clements is okay as well, so no damage done to either of them. But it's been a decent battle, actually, between a really experienced centre forward and a young centre half there, and not much to choose between Max Rosner and John Clements so far.
No, I think Rosner's dealt with Clemo really well. As we said, in the first half, Clemo's been limited to the opportunities that he has, and I think a lot of that is to do with Rosner.
So Ben Wayman has the ball deep inside AFC Dunstable territory. Here is Max Rosner, who's back on the park. Long ball forward onto the head of David Soto. Louis Walsh will be first to react, bringing Callum Martin. Finds Brooks inside centre circle. Guy's on the halfway line as the sun shines again here at Watson Park. Still stand at 0-0. Here's Ida Koa. Ida Koa finds Louis Walsh. Walsh's shot blocked by Jack Grosvenor. Up in the air by Joe Dearman. Richard Ennins there with Martin. Richard does well, shields the ball away and plays it back for David Soter, who skies it into the AFC half. Kept in by John Clements. Bounces it off of Staszewski, but only as far as Ben Wayman. On to the hour mark we go, and still 0-0 here at Watson Park. Ida Goer on that far side. Can't get around Joe Dearman. Takes the throw, finds Kai on the halfway line. AFC Dunstable 38 goals before half-time, 35 after, so they've been consistent. Ware have scored far more after the break. Got defending to do here though. Ida Koa having a run against Joe Dearman, drifts inside, then to the edge of the area, chips it back across. Martin was there, but Richard Ennin did a good job of marshalling the run of the right fullback. The ball goes behind for a goal kick. Fred Burbage comes out to collect it and will take the goal kick. Interesting, AFC Dunstable. I mean, they had 14-day rest up until this game, but it doesn't really seem to have affected them. You thought it might have been a bit rusty, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, there is that danger that we've seen it happen to teams before, where a layoff that long can affect teams. But they seem to have dealt with it pretty well. I mean, I don't know if they had some sort of friendly last week. I doubt they would have done. Maybe an extra training session, but they look fine.
Ben Wayman puts the ball to the edge of the area where Jack Drea's first to react there for Ware, and here goes Richard Enid. Gets the ball away from Martin, was a bit unlucky with the bounce, but we'll find David Soter. David goes round Brooks and keeps going, plays the ball forward, looks for Richard Ennin, and referee once again spots the fact that Brooks was pulling David Soter's shirt. I think he's done all right with the referee on those decisions.
I think he's done really well. He's dealt with things that needed to be dealt with when they have done. He's let the play flow as well. So full marks to the referee so far.
Echo Goer on the halfway line brings in Joe Dearman on that far side of the field. Joe's got Ida Goer in front of him. Brings in Jack Dreyer. Ball forward, looking for Theo Ofori inside the box. It's Theo Ofori. Theo still going. Oh, good save by Stacey, who pushes it behind for a corner.
Yeah, great save from Stacey. Good positioning from him as well. he knew what Theo wanted to do. You know, he's positioned himself, you know, by that left-hand post, and you know, Theo's taken the shot, thrown it there, and put it behind for a corner, and good work from St Stacey.
Joe Dearman will take the corner from corner flag away to that far side of the field. Chattrad has got a bit of a bang there, but looks to be up and okay. Joe's being told by the assistant where to place the ball and does so. So he's going to swing it in with the left boot from the far side. Decent looking corner. Up goes Jack Grosvenor, gets the header there, but straight into the arms of Stacey, who quickly bowls it out for Louis Walsh. We need to get players back here as there's a red tide coming forward. Alex Warman just sticks out boot and delays Walsh's progress, and that puts an end to the counter attack. They've taken the kick quickly though. Nicholson to Ben Wayman. Then back on to the halfway line though for Rosner on this near side for Callum Martin. Richard Henning gets a boot in. And Richard Henning certainly has looked up for it since he's come on at half time. Might feel as we do he's unlucky not to be in the starting 11. Ball on the edge of the box. Ball pulled across by Idakoa. Nobody there, and it'll go behind for a goal kick to Ware. Looking down the line, no signs of further substitutes at the moment. We're 19 minutes into the second half here though, and we're still awaiting the first goal. 19 more minutes since Fred Burbage has had the ball out the back of the net. But for us as well, 19 more minutes since we've seen a goal. 0-0 last week and 0-0 this week.
Yeah. I mean, as we said, I think that's only the third 0-0 that we've encountered this season. So we've been pretty blessed with goals so far.
Yeah, so far 118 in 34 games, and before this one, long kick forward by Fred Burbage, on by Clements. Theo Ofori was offside, but Jack Pryor's making Staszewski play the ball straight onto the chest of Mitch Hahn, and it goes out for a throw-in to AFC Dunstable. 12 clean sheets so far this season for Ware. Ball pushed down the line, and Rosner will wait for his goalkeeper to come out and bowl it to the right hand side to Patrick Staszewski. He's got time on the ball, finds Martin on the halfway line, back from Brooks. Once again, patient by build up. Louis Walsh has gone into the centre forward position as good ball by Nicholson brings in Ben Wayman. Far side of the field as Walsh goes down is Idakoa, but Joe Dearman does well, sticks to it, shot comes in well wide of the target from Ben Wayman. Louis Walsh is having a word with the referee, felt he was fouled in the build-up, but nothing doing, and it will be a goal kick to Ware. Well, half-time scores would show that it's going to be a shootout between Biggleswade Town and Bedford for the championship, and that Ware, AFC Dunstable, Waltham Abbey, and whoever loses that shootout will be in the playoff semi-finals. It's interesting, I mean, psychologically with Biggleswade Town and Bedford now, if one of them does lose out in the championship, which will happen, could have a real effect on their place in the playoffs and the way they feel about things.
Yeah, it could do. I think obviously, whichever one of them doesn't get the automatic promotion is going to have that disappointment. I mean, you'd think with the results that Bedford have got, the last couple of games that they seem to have found a bit of form again. So you would expect them to win their last couple. But who knows what will happen, especially in this league.
Yeah, certainly this league and this season, which has just been crazy at times. Did a couple of seasons ago, of course, when Berkhamsted were real favourites to go through the playoff system and didn't make the semi-finals. Lost to North Lee in a playoff semi-final, who ended up beating Ware here, of course, after extra time on that, memorable for the crowd and the occasion, but not memorable for the result, as Jack Dreyer going down the far side, balls the ball across the box. Richard Dennings in there, he's being manhandled a bit by Rossner, and the ball, Richard Dennings does well, keeps the ball in and then thumps it against Nicholson for a corner on this near side. Nicholson is really having a blast at his defenders, but Ware have got a corner on this near side. First one for Alex Warman, who has curled one in this season.
Yeah. I mean, we know what Alex can do from the corner, so hopefully he can work his magic on this one.
So Echo Goga and Jack Grosvenor are up from the back. Ida Goa is the only player forward for AFC Dunstable. Corners going far post. Oh, Stacey going up and almost couldn't stretch, but did. And in the end manages to let the ball inside the 6-yard box. Bowls it out to Callum Martin midway inside his own half. Still 0-0. Didn't think there'd be many goals in this one. Haven't been many goals between these two teams over past couple of seasons. AFC Dunstable never won here. They've played a few friendlies here. Probably the most goals was the first time the two teams met a few years ago in the friendly, which ended 4-4. But certainly nothing like that this afternoon. Long ball forward, and Joe Dearman's got a little bit of defending to be done. As the ball's put on, he's got it in the back of the net. It was pulled across by Ida Koa, and it's Matt Shazi who's managed to turn the ball in the back of the Ware net. And Fred Burbage has conceded a goal, the first one in 3 games. And 69 minutes. Ware 0, AFC Dunstable 1.
That was good work from him, to finish that ball. Fred's disappointed. He's telling his defenders and telling them, his thoughts of that. But what these guys need to do, they're waiting for AFC Dunstable to reset themselves. Just need someone to to sort of get the Ware players, G them up a bit, get them back into this game, and just take a little bit of a stranglehold on this game. Referees just David Sutter's obviously said something to the referee about them taking their time. The referee's just showing them saying, look, I've stopped my watch. Don't worry, I'm going to add it all on. So with his performance, I'm confident he will. But Ware just need to try and find an immediate way back into this game as soon as they can.
Well, there was a goal out of nothing, really. But it's given AFC Dunstable the lead here against Ware and put the gap amongst the pigeons again as far as the top of the table is concerned. AFC on 58 points, Ware on 59, so AFC would go above Ware as it stands at this moment in time. Joe Dearman's going to take the throw-in for Ware. Far side of the field. Bring in Alex Warman. No sign of anything changing on the Ware bench as Alex makes a good run. Joe Dearman makes a good run down that far side, but Kai then gets in the way. Puts it forward. Alex Warman forward for Ware is Mitch Hahn. Mitch Hahn chips the ball looking for John Clements. He's there, but ball in the end runs all the way through to the goalkeeper, Steb Stacey. How important could that save he made from Theo Afori 5 minutes or so ago be? As the young goalkeeper right-footed downfield. Long kick, looking for the man who's made the difference down on that far side, the substitute, Dan Idagoa. He was the man who set up the goal. It's thrown to be taken far side of the field. Kai will take it. Noticeable AFC Dunstable don't want to get on with it now, but can't blame them. A leader here by a goal to nil. Ware will still be in the playoffs, providing Welling Garden City haven't made a dramatic comeback at the Pexhurst. But chances of a home playoff could be disappearing here as Ben Wayman gets the ball up far side of the field onto the halfway line for Max Rosner. Also the record, of course, 8 home wins on the trot before this afternoon. In danger at the moment of losing only their 4th home game of the season. And AFC Dunstable have gone in front though. They haven't been too good at holding leads at times. They've lost 6 times, having scored the first goal this season. They've also drawn 3. So definite hope for the home side, who have got, of course, that record in the last 10 minutes of games, scoring 18 times. Plenty of late shows, odds and bark this season. Ball prodded forward. Callum Nicholson puts the ball inside, looking for Idakoa again. Sharp turn away from Theo Afori, and here's the shot in the back of the net. And it's 2-0 as off the top of the crossbar, Arnold Matsardi. And Idakoa has caused the problems again. Matt Kazi doubles AFC Dunstable's advantage. All going wrong for Paul Hawes' team here. They trail 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, and that's poor, isn't it? It's good work from AFC Dunstable. They're slowing the play down, looking for those gaps, looking for that opportunity. And once it's come, they've taken that chance, created that goal, doubled their lead. And it's as you say, it's all gone wrong in the second half of the Ware boys.
Well, 2 goals scored in the space of 4 minutes by Arnold Matsardi. Takes his season total to 10 and really gives Ware something to think about here in the final stage of this. We've got 15 minutes plus time added on for stoppages. Another change going to be made. Josiah Ramsey is about to come on for AFC Dunstable. In fact, no, Josiah Ramsey is not going to come on for AFC Dunstable. They've changed their mind. So we're going to restart here. A game that was so close and suddenly has been turned on its head. They trail by 2-0. Theo Afori don't want to go into the playoffs. Afori almost gives it away to Brooks, but David Sota's there first for Ware. Sota on this near side brings in Richard Ennin. Ennin's got Nicholson in front of him, looks for John Clements, or looks to nip the ball inside for David Sota, but once again AFC Dunstable, as they have done all afternoon, sorted out. Although Jack Dreher's got the ball inside the area, looks for John Clements, bounces off the back of his heel, and Nicholson will bring in on the far side Joe Dearman, who's brought down in the end by Idakoa. And Ware want to get on with it quickly. Theo Afori chips the ball across. It's headed by Brooks. It's Richard Ennin inside the area. The ball will break on the edge of that area for Jack Grosvenor. It will break for Louis Walsh, and a chance for AFC Dunstable to come forward here. Louis Walsh, Alex Warman did well to close down the space. Nicholson nips it to the left to Ben Wayman. We have been 2 down here this season, of course, against Bedford, going back to win 4-2, but they were 2 down at half-time. Got less than 15 minutes this time as Theo Afori chips the ball forward. Kieran Bishop is about to make an appearance as Rosner will come forward on this near side. Ball pushed back to Callum Martin. This could well be the last 15 minutes plus time added on of Ware's home season. Could all be away from home after this if they don't get back into it. Substitution about to be made. 2 substitutions. Kieran Bishop comes on for Mitch Hahn for Ware, and it's going to be Josiah Ramsey, who's a midfield player, who's going to come on for AFC. I think it's going to be Brooks, is it, who comes off? Yeah, it's going to be Guile Brooks who comes off, and Ramsey goes on. Kieran Bishop's going to go straight up front, which means that Jack Dreher will drop a little bit deeper in midfield, and we're really going 4-4-2 here, as Theo Afori will be on that far side of the field as well. Well, needs must, Kieran Bishop on.
Yeah, I think Paul obviously knows he needs to get a couple of goals. They can't rest on their laurels and let that happen. So,
flag up as Idakoa goes away again on that left-hand side. Fred Burbidge will take the kick for Ware. 13 minutes plus time added on, and 18 goals scored in the last 10 minutes of matches. Really be nice if they could make that 20, if not 21. David Sota with the throw-in on the halfway line for Ware. Haven't looked at their best this afternoon, it's got to be said, but haven't been allowed to look at their best either by very competitive AFC Dunstable side, as Richard Ennin goes down and wins Ware a free kick on this left-hand side. Patrick Stazowski is going to get a yellow card from the referee for kicking the ball away. As was noted. Not missed anything. He's been certainly one of the better. Craig Barnett, our referee this afternoon. I think he's done very well. Alex Warman's going to take the kick. Set up a grandstand finish. If this one was to go in, everybody up from the back. Ida Koa is the only player left forward for AFC Dunstable. Alex Warman then with the right boot for Ware, goes in and met at the near post and comes off the head of John Clements in the end and goes behind for a goal kick. Nothing doing, and not been at their best this afternoon, it's got to be said.
No, they've not. You know, there's not been a lot of chances created. You know, there's been no, I wouldn't say no urgency, but no sort of creative implement and that coming from Ware. So it's disappointing way for Ware to end their home season, I think. Well,
still time for the Odd Sox to do their magic. David Sota gets the ball from Alex Warman. David gets it again, but he's being pulled back by Idagoa, and Ware have a free kick. Far side for Joe Dearman on the halfway line. Matt Carsey, the player who's caused all the problems, goes over there, but Joe does well to evade him. Still coming forward, brings in Theo Ofori. Theo Ofori looks for the edge of the area, but Rosner's there ahead of Kieran Bishop, and will just thump into the Ware half. Jack Dreyer for Alex Warman. Richard Ennin balls wide on this left-hand side. David Sota gets the ball, or lets it run under his foot, and suddenly it's become a little bit frantic for Ware. They've got just over 10 minutes to get back into the contest here. They trail by 2-0 against AFC Dunstable, who are going to be booking a place in the end of season playoffs. Well, we'll have to wait and see what's happening at Welwyn Garden City, but it is likely they'll be there as well. But the way things are panning out could well be a dress rehearsal for a game which will be played in Dunstable between the two sides. As on this near side, Lewis Walsh picks the ball up, but goes out. It's going to be a free kick to Ware. Biggleswade Town, Bedford, Waltham Abbey, Ware, AFC Dunstable. Take your pick. One of them's going to be champions and one of them's going to be promoted via the playoffs. So still plenty to play for. Fred Burbage, long kick forward. Kieran Bishop goes up, manages to find Richard Ennin, who looks for John Clements, heads the ball down, but Stacey, who's looked pretty assured for a young goalkeeper, comes out and collects it. And first appearance of the Dying Swan as he goes down. It's certainly Ware's time now. They need to use some of the experience in this side against a very, very young opposition, but a very, very talented lineup as well. And who's to say this AFC Dunstable side couldn't go all the way in terms of the playoffs. As it's going to be a throw-in to them on the far side. Quado Kai, their left back, will take it. Brings in Nicholson, who's been outstanding in that midfield alongside Ben Wayman. Good feet again by Nicholson. Goes down under challenge by Alex Warman, and it's a free kick to AFC Dunstable. 8 minutes plus time added on remain. AFC Dunstable lead by 2-0. A double from Arnold Matshazi. And Ware's proud record of 8 consecutive home wins looks as if it's going to end there. Ben Wayman will take the kick. He'd be an extra little bit of spice for him as a former Hartford player. Alex Warman heads the ball up in the air, and Jack Dreyer is beaten to it and then manages to get the ball back. It's with Echo Coker. Brings in Joe Dearman, goes round one shirt, goes round another, straight into Nicholson, and Lewis Walsh will come the other way for AFC Dunstable. Goes down under challenge from Jack Dreyer. His ball forward's a poor one, and the ball finds its way back to Stacey, who puts it out to his skipper, Callum Nicholson, who's there with Richard Ennin. Nicholson then volleys it towards the halfway line. Jack Grosvenor is there, but Jack Drake comes away with the ball. David Soter's beaten to it, and the ball goes off for a throw into AFC Dunstable. Ware crowd didn't agree with that, but AFC will take it and take their time about it. Got 7 minutes left, and it's got to be all hands to the pump for the home side here if they want to get anything out of this. Ramsey, almost first touch for the substitute, takes him down the touchline here and wins a throw in from David Soter. AFC Dunstable have they've dug in, and I think the impressive thing about this young team is that they're up for the physical challenge as well as playing the ball about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've not shied away from anything. As you say, they have been, not overly physical, but physical as and where they need be. And we was impressed with them earlier in the season. I've been, equally impressed with them again today.
Richard Ennin for Ware, but down by the corner flag. David Soter just digs it out towards the halfway line, and Ben Wayman will collect it for AFC Dunstable back into his own half for Max Rosner. Rosner, long ball forward, looking for the run again on that far side. Oh, Joe Dearman's header is a poor one. It goes out for a corner to AFC Dunstable, and the danger man, Idakoa, that has been a real bonus for AFC Dunstable. Him coming on down that left-hand side, and he's made a real difference.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? He's given them all sorts of problems, and obviously, Joe not in his natural position there at right back. He's found it hard to deal with him, and with him bearing down in back there, he's just panicked and headed it out for a corner.
Ball goes out for a goal kick. AFC Dunstable were trying to keep it down by the corner flag. Get the thoughts of Wolsey after this one. It'll be on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf post-match tomorrow. To be interesting what he thinks as Joe Dearman picks the ball up on the halfway line. Long ball forward on this near side, and to the head of Martin. Up goes Jack Dreyer, wins the ball. Kieran Bishop's had little chance to get involved, and his header forward is hooked clear forward by Alex Warman again, and then Martin chips it up on this near side, and chasing it down is the man of the moment, Matt Sharzy, who manages to win a throw-in for AFC Dunstable. Time is ebbing away here. 5 minutes left. Ware 0, AFC Dunstable 2. Dunstable will be going into the playoffs with plenty of confidence. Ware will be stumbling a little bit, and league leaders Biggleswade Town to face away from home this time next week. Kieran Bishop inside for Richard Ennin. It's brought down by Nicholson, was he? No, he wasn't. And Idakoa plays it down the road to Matt Sharzy down this right-hand side. Matt Sharzy goes down under challenge from Jack Grosvenor and wins a free kick. Jack looks aghast at the referee as to what did I do, but it's not happening for Ware at the moment.
Well, yeah, Jack didn't seem to agree with the referee's decision there. I think maybe a little bit of a harsh decision there from the referee, but I think it's one of those that could have gone either way.
Well, 42 minutes gone, second half here. It's going to be a free kick, which is taken by Dan Idakoa. Idakoa back for his skipper, Callum Nicholson. Idakoa just keeping it down on this near side. They've kept 5 players back, so it kind of gave us an idea what was going to happen. They're wrestling for it down by the corner flag, and in the end it's Jack Dreyer who emerges with the ball. Finds John Clements, but he can't collect it. Lewis Walsh can for AFC Dunstable. Walsh on the halfway line for Gallon Martin, back into his own half for Max Rosner. Not really put a foot wrong, Rosner, all afternoon. Ball back onto the edge of the area for Seb Stacey. Stacey, right-footed downfield, but it's a couple of bounces will take it all the way back to Fred Burbidge. Fred, long ball, far side, looking for Joe Dearman. Now or never, surely, for Ware. They need two, not one. They need to get a foothold back in this game, and quick. Alex Warman's taking his time. He's going to be robbed of the ball by Ida Gower. And again, not working out for Ware. Callum Nicholson racing down that left-hand side. Goga's there first, though, for Ware. Big man turns inside smaller man, and Joe Dearman puts the ball back to Fred Burbage. Richard Ennins in space on this near side. Nobody spotted him, and Joe Dearman gets it on that far side of the field for Wolves' team. They seem to have run out of ideas here. Long ball from Joe Dearman. Martin will head it out, and he'll be fielded by the Ware dugout. Richard Ennin will take the throw in, or is he going to leave it? It's going to leave it to David Sota. Minute and a half plus time added on. Kieran Bishop, long ball on that far side, looking to search out Joe Dearman. Theo Afori's further down the touchline. That's where he's going to find, but it's a poor ball. Guy gets there first. He runs straight into Joe Dearman, and I think that passage of play just sums up where in the last 15 minutes they really have lost their way.
Yeah, they do seem to have done. Conceding those two quick goals really seems to have sort of, got them, a little bit downhearted, I think, and they seem to sort of not know what to do, not know how to get back into this game, and I think hopefully I'm wrong, but I think potentially in their minds, that was when they lost the game already.
Here's Richard Ennin midway inside his own half for in the final minute at Watson Park, where trailed by 2-0 against the youthful but very skillful AFC Dunstable team. Joe Dearman far side down the line for Theo Afori, bounces off a Kai and goes out for a throw in. A few of the locals have made their way out to the exits. Certainly it's not all up as far as a home playoff is concerned. It's just will be decided next week. So still a possibility this won't be Ware's last appearance at Watson Park this season. David Sota making his way up the left-hand side. David Sota's in the box, chips it across. Here's John Clements. Who's he going to give it to? He's got nobody there and puts the ball across, and Ida Gower will clear. And again, that sums up the way things have gone for Ware as Jack Grosvenor volleys it back to Fred Burbage. So congested in that area, nobody could get a shot across. Fred will chip ball forward, looking for Richard Ennin. Martin's in the way. He's done a solid job, Callum Martin, since he came on early in the first half for the injured Yoav Sade. Richard Ennin will take the throw in for Ware. Looks for Alex Warman. Finds Richard again on this near side. On the halfway line for Jack Grosvenor. Far side of the field is Joe Dearman. Joe Dearman looks to get the ball across the box. Jack Grosvenor's in there. It's diverted to the left-hand side of the box. Grosvenor's gone down. He's back up now. Is Richard Ennin. Fires it in. Headed out by Rossner. As far as Louis Walsh is concerned, and Rossner completes the clearance. And Echo Coker will go deep inside his own half to collect the ball. Simon will be thinking about man of the match, which will award at the end of the game here. But there's plenty of shouting going out in front. I think Joe Oxey's almost on the pitch here. But the ball looking for Theo Afori down that right-hand side. Rossner's there, puts it out for a corner of the Ware. Played a minute over the top at Watson Park. Joe Dearman will go across and take that corner for Ware. Got to push everybody forward. Echo Coker's going in the box. AFC have still got two players in advanced positions. It's chipped up, the header goes in. It's Richard Ennin, turned in. It's an own goal in the end, which comes off Rossner, I think, and goes in the back of the net. Ware are on the score sheet, but have they left it too late?
Well, I mean, I think there's still going to be a minute or two of added time left. So, we've got to make sure they get this ball back quickly and attack and just give it all they've got. For however long the referee's going to add, just give it all you've got and find a way to get a point.
Well, Richard Ennin's been given it by the BA here. I think it was an own goal by Rossner, but it doesn't matter, because Ware are back in the game. That's the 19th goal they've scored in the last 10 minutes of games this season, and still a hope of getting something out of this. Ball goes out though, and it's a throw in to AFC Dunstable on that far side of the field. It was scrappy, got across the area, and for once AFC had left a Ware player unmarked, and Richard Enning did the job. In the afternoon for substitutes, both number 12s. It's been Dan Idakoa who's caused all kind of problems for Ware. And Richard Enning, who maybe has given them a lifeline, but the ball's deep inside Ware territory with Theo Afori trying to wrestle his way out. Kai is giving it away to Jack Dreyer, and here comes Echo Goka, and Ware will come forward with Richard Enning. Hear the crowd now. David Sota going down this left-hand side. Is Callum Martin going to get there first? Callum Martin does and manages to win the ball. Does a good job as well. We're coming forward, push down this line. Jack Rovner's there. He's being put under pressure, and in the end the ball goes out for a throw-in to AFC Dunstable. And could that break forward have been Ware's last chance?
Well, I mean, I think it might have been. Might be a little bit too late now. I really can't see much more added time to be added. I know the referee has been saying he's stopping his watching. He's watching this time, but I can't see we're getting another chance at an attack now.
Well, nearly 4 minutes have been added on as the ball goes out. It's got to be the Hail Mary from Fred Burbage now with the goal kick. Last opportunity to get something out of this. If not, they're going down to their 4th home defeat of the season, and we'll have a look what the scores say in terms of the playoff picture. Long kick forward, headed up in the air, and it will be collected by Kieran Bishop. Volleys it to the edge of the area. Shot comes in from John Clements. It will break to Theo Afori. Linesman's flag goes up for offside, and that surely is that. As the referee blows the whistle, celebrations from the T-bid red. Ware players drop to the turf. Not to be for Ware. Our home playoff hasn't been booked. We'll wait and see whether we'll be back here this season at Watson Park. AFC Dunstable are in the playoffs, and it's finished disappointingly here. 2 goals in 4 second half minutes scored by Arnold Matshazi. Means that it ends here. Ware 1, AFC Dunstable 2.
Well, I mean, disappointment in the end for Ware, but I didn't really have enough chances and enough creativity to take the 3 points, and it was them 2 quick goals from AFC Dunstable that ended up doing the harm for Ware in the end. But obviously it's not over yet. We'll have a look at the results from everywhere else, and they still might be a little bit of a silver lining on the clouds, and see if they've got into the playoffs.
Well, AFC Dunstable 61 points. That takes them on to 2 points ahead of Ware. They'll go in 3rd place. Ware on 59, Waltham Abbey on 58. The way it stands at the moment would be Bedford against Waltham Abbey, AFC Dunstable against Ware. So this isn't going to be the last time these 2 teams meet this season, but still another week of the season to go. We've still got the scores from around the division to digest as they will be coming up. But when we will know they didn't do themselves justice this afternoon, didn't play as we know they can do here at Watson Park. There's a goal from Richard Enning, which went in off Max Rosner, which gave them a hope in the end, but it was too late for Will Hawes' team, who went down to their 4th home defeat of the season, and that run of 8 consecutive home wins was broken by an AFC Dunstable side. They're all smiles out there. They had an average age of just about 20 for their team. I'll tell you that how old the team are in terms of average ages, that they've got 19-year-olds, they've got 20-year-olds, they've got 18-year-olds in this particular lineup, and it's been very impressive. I mean, Louis Walsh, who was playing at 23, is the old man of the team. So I think that tells you a lot about what you want to know about AFC Dunstable. The Ware crowd are dispersing and going home. As I say, they don't know whether they'll be back here before pre-season in July. Could still be a possibility of a playoff semi-final or even a playoff final here. Who knows? Wherever the playoffs beckon for Ware, we will be there with them. And Paul Halsey will know that, they've lost the battle but haven't lost the war, because still very much in the playoff picture. been in this position before to face away playoffs. They've faced away playoffs in the last 2 seasons. One of them, of course, at AFC Dunstable, and last year at Biggleswade, where they ran out winners comfortably by 4-1. So still opportunities for Ware as those scores are coming in from everywhere around the Southern League Division 1 Central. Kempston have been relegated. We think Tame could be on their way as well, despite the fact they were 1-0 up against Kings Langley at half-time. That's because Kidlington and Aylesbury United were both winning at half-time. Victories for those two, and shame for Tame. They will be relegated along with Kempston Rovers. We know AFC Dunstable are in the playoff picture. Have they done enough to get themselves own playoff? That's the question. They've got Barton Rovers at home next week, where will be at Biggleswade Town, and it could be a Biggleswade Town who need a win to secure the championship. We will wait and see. Live from 2:55, our final regular league game of the season, number 36 for 90 Minutes Live, in association with Easy Shelf Direct. Scores still coming in. Hartford were in action as well, 1-1 at half-time against Cirencester. Welling Garden City, well, the wheels sadly have fallen off from Mark Weatherston's side. They were 2-0 down at half-time against Aylesbury United. So as the scores still coming in, as I can see that Simon is getting them all together, all getting nail-biting at the end of what has been a crazy season in Southern League Division 1 Central. And going into these playoffs, certainly anything can happen for any of the teams. It's been a kind of season where Ware could get promoted, having lost 7-1 at Bedford and 4-2 at relegated Kempston, having been 2-0 up at half-time. It's just one of those seasons. AFC Dunstable lost 6-5 at home to Kings Langley earlier on in the season, and had some crazy games with Waltham Abbey as well, both at home and away. So it's just been one of those years, and the A Division you certainly can't take your eyes off, and scores still coming in here from roundabout. And have a look at Welling Garden City. Looks like they might have got themselves back in the game against Aylesbury United, but we'll wait and see as to what was happening there. So I think full times are just about there, are they?
Yeah, still waiting for final score from the Peckhurst. So I'll run through the others, and then obviously I'll have a look at that at the end. So those of you that were listening at half-time might remember that Hadley were 1-0 up on Barton Rovers, but they had received a red card. What a second half. Barton Rovers 5, Hadley 2. So they've switched that all around there, and a good win for them. It's finished 1-1 between Biggleswade and Kidlington. Hertford Town, their final home game of the season, they've unfortunately lost 3-2 to Cirencester Town. Brian Garzon and Wilson Burnell with the Hertford goals. Kempston Rovers and Stotfold, a good second half for Stotfold. They ran out 4-1 winners. Game between Leighton Town and Bedford Town. Bedford were 1-0 up at half-time. They've doubled that, and they've beat Leighton Town by 2-0. Biggleswade Town, they were visiting Northley, and they've taken all 3 points there this afternoon, running out 4-0 winners. Good results for Tame United, although I don't know if that's going to do them any good. Well, Pete's going to work that one out. They have won 3-0 at Kings Langley, and at the Peckhurst, I think it's still going on. Welling Garden City were 2-0 down at half-time. I know they brought it back to 3-2. To be winning 3-2, goals from Durnell Winter and 2 from Brad Wadkins. There's been one red card to, I believe, one of the Welling Garden City management. There's also been a red card for one of the Aylesbury players, it doesn't say who, and Aylesbury made it 3-3 in the 91st minute with a penalty. So yeah, still waiting for final score there. So I'll keep refreshing and see what's happened.
Well, looks like Tame might still be alive looking at that, but only just, because it's going to go to the last game of the season. I think they've got 37 points with that, and Aylesbury will move on to 40 if they get a point at Welwyn Garden City. Kidlington are out of it. That point is good enough to keep them in the division. So it's going to be between Tame and Aylesbury next week. You've got to say it needs a massive goal drift, because Tame are minus 19 and Aylesbury will be minus 14. So it's all but, I think, assured that Tame are going to go down unless something really strange happens. Top of the table, you remind me the Bedford score again?
2-0.
2-0, in which case they go on a plus 37. And, it's getting interesting now at the top then, because Biggleswade Town 69 points, Bedford 66, Biggleswade Town plus 35, Bedford plus 37. So anything can, basically Bedford need Ware to win at Biggleswade Town next week, and for them to win as well. So that will take the championship. Full time at the Bexhurst, it's ended at 3-3. So let's go top of the table. Biggleswade Town 69, Bedford 66, AFC Dunstable 61, Ware 59, Waltham Abbey 58. They're your playoff contenders. As it stands at the moment, that would be Bedford against Waltham Abbey, AFC Dunstable against Ware. So Ware would not have a chance of a home semi-final. Obviously, they could have a chance if Waltham Abbey upset Bedford of a home final, but that's a way to go. So they're the playoff contenders, but of course, championship could well be decided, and Ware could have a massive say in that next week. Yeah.
Well, then they will have a say in it, won't they? And it's as you say, it's still all to play for, and still a lot of work to do.
Well, it's been a disappointing afternoon at Wadson Park as the Forey signs more de grace for some young fans down by the tunnel. We're off to have a word with Paul Horsey and get his thoughts on this afternoon, which will be on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct post-match. Catch that where you usually catch it, of course. It'll be on social media and we'll be online tomorrow morning. As for us, we'll be at Biggleswade Town this time next week. Really going to be a special occasion, because it will be where the title in Southern League Division 1 Central is decided. It will also decide who Ware play in the playoffs and where we're going for the first leg of the playoff semi-final. So despite a 2-1 defeat, can confirm Ware are in the postseason playoffs for the third time in as many years. The management view, well, there's some smiles still out there. They know it's not all over. There is plenty still to play for. Wherever you've listened to 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct this afternoon, hope you've enjoyed our commentary, and I hope you're a bit warmer than we are, because it really is getting a bit chilly here. Next week, last regular commentary, and we'll give you just a little insight as to how many people have been listening to us and where they've been listening to us from. Even I've been surprised, I'll tell you. But we'll leave you tonight with the full time here from Wadson Park, where it ended Ware 1, AFC Dunstable 2. Commentaries from 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct are protected by a Creative Commons licence. Any unauthorised reproduction for commercial gain is strictly prohibited.